The Let Them Theory, Mel Robbins. There it is. I really want to get the hard copy of it. I bet I can find it here in Vegas.
You know what? They're sold out everywhere in stores, but you might be able to find one. They might be back in. I don't know. That's just what I was reading about. So, because I tried buying them
I
in the
can make it
store.
work. I can make it work with the with just the like you having it because you could always
I could send you
highlight.
pages or whatever.
Well, yeah, you could always refer to a page and point it out and for someone because I know the audiobooks can be a little bit different.
Oh shit. Oh, I almost spit out my coffee. Oh my God.
Yeah, that shit is burnt. So I thought this would be a good
Oh
you know,
man.
a good chill spot. Plus people keep walking by here. Let them. This is so cool
Mhm.
because now it's been what? Like it's been over 2 weeks. It's been two
Mhm.
weeks. Yep. And because it was a Wednesday when I arrived.
Yeah.
And
Two
I've been
weeks.
using the let them theory the whole time.
Good.
And I've been using the let them theory and applying it to this very high intense situation, you know?
Mhm.
And it's like each part of the two and a half weeks I've been here, like, first couple days had its challenges, and then the day 6, 7, 8 had its challenges, and like
Yeah.
so on. And it all had to do with like how much time goes between having your own bathroom forever to like all of a sudden now you're like, oh, this is like, and so those tough moments, but then if you just wait through them, they go away too. And I'm like, oh, I don't need that either. It's just
Yeah.
like
It's getting through that
adapting.
part. Yeah. That's the hard part. I can
It is.
imagine.
Yeah, but honestly though, like the refreshing like freedom part and hanging out with my son, like all so worth it. And my daughter's headed to the Caribbean or whatever. She's doing a
Oh, that's
cruise with her,
right. Oh,
yeah,
wait.
with her boyfriend's family, and it's going to be her birthday soon.
Oh,
And she's going to
nice.
be out of the country for that. I'm really excited for her, and I know when she's getting back, and I'm going to try to get to visit with her, to get up there to see her, or get
Hmm.
her down here. Either way,
Yeah.
right after she gets back. So I
Well,
miss
that's
her
good.
terribly.
I bet. Well, at least this
Yeah,
whole let them theory got you to where you needed to be, right? Because the whole point was to get with your son, but all the resistance and everybody telling you not to do it or whatever, you wouldn't have been where you are right now with him. So that's
yeah.
good.
But I think people are generally really supportive,
That
and
I've noticed that too, though. I have noticed that.
yeah, they're very supportive. Even people who are like, I'm not leaving this matrix life and I'm comfortable with it and whatever. And we don't even have to call it that because I'm not trying to downplay it because I want to make something very clear. The people who are working for wages and sacrificing family time and personal dreams and things like that, and not even looking for them, maybe even, those are the people who have been like supporting me, like
Yeah.
I've been able to wash laundry and cook for my son in my baby mama's house because she's very nice about being like, of course, I'm going to work and you can come here and wash his laundry if that's what you're wanting and if you want to wash
Yeah.
your own with it. And that's just it. Like if I was to ignore that, like that is what I'm using, like it's her.
Hmm.
She works her butt off and I'm sitting here saying like, oh, that's not the way and like this and that. And I don't want to come across as insulting, especially when I'm like utilizing people's, that do
Yeah, because
work.
you wouldn't have it if they didn't do it. It's just, I get what you're saying though, about just, it's almost just like having a balance with everything. Because I'm learning that too with everything that I do. It's like I can't
Yeah.
slow down, but I
Yep.
try. But
Balance is
yeah.
important. Yeah. And to be honest with you, like that's what I'm learning is that like just because people are doing that and working like I have forever, even though I've known like I'd rather just chase my dreams and forget about all this. And we live in a lot of fear, we live in fear of not having our things
Hmm.
and our kids not having a place, or like even as far as like if I can't be a responsible adult, like the state will take my children, right? Like these
Yeah.
fears, and some of them, like it would be really hard to argue that for example isn't bad,
Hmm.
because
Yeah, I
it's
know.
terrible. That's a terrible thing. Like
Well, the world we live in is, it's not that, it doesn't make it easy, that's for sure.
it is what it is, right? It
Yeah.
is what it is. So I have
Yep.
an idea for an interactive donation charity idea, and it's getting good. It's getting
Mhm.
really good. And I have a donation which happened to be from you. Um, and I'm going to what I want to do. This was my idea. I haven't gotten much feedback on it. But what I was thinking was is if people can choose like how they want their donation to be divvied out in what
Mhm.
way, right? And I could just be that foot soldier because if I can take your donation and we discuss like one, two, three little options, and you're like, yeah, let's, whatever, let's do that one. And then I can do a video of me doing it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And like, let's say, because you could go, if you had, let's say, $10, you could give one cigarette to 40 people, right? And someone might be like, no, I would never want to do that, right? And some people might be like, yeah, I'd rather just give them a smoke. I'd rather give 40 people a smoke. I know it's not good for them, but that's what I'd like to do? And that is something I saw the group I went out with last Saturday doing. And I'm going to do it
Really?
again tomorrow if they'll have me. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. But yeah, the guy bought 3 packs of cigarettes at the 7-Eleven. Like these guys are all professionals. This is what
Mhm.
they do. And then they go and they use their career experiences, like their lawyering and everything like that,
Yeah.
to build these relationships to help these homeless. They want to
Mhm.
offer water to stay alive, some food, some socks, but also you can come with us right now and get a bed, a shower, hospital, medical attention, even if they're high. They don't have rules. They will take
Damn.
any one of these homeless people off the street right now. And so that is beautiful. And
Wow.
I'm watching it. I mean, I haven't seen the whole process work, but I've seen enough to but no, I believe them. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
they
pretty
do.
cool.
Yeah, and on their donation pages and stuff on their website, like they've raised, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they are out here offering it. They're like, "Hey, we can get you shower, we can help you get your ID." Like they're offering all the steps you would need to
Mhm.
to go from, to be able to recontact your family and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I'm clean and sober. I'm back. I'm sorry." Because it's
Damn,
hard
that's pretty
here.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
without
see that.
them, it made me feel kind of foolish. Like I'm out here like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then I saw them, and I'm like, man, these people are like, they're amazing.
Struggling. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to pretend for a second like I haven't been like I've been doing what these folks are doing because they're
Yeah.
amazing. They're
Mhm.
they're doing real good, and it's quite incredible. So I'm gonna let them do their thing, and I'm gonna help.
Let them.
I'm gonna let me help them, and humbly too. I wasn't really busting out my phone and stuff. They even said it. They're like, "Don't be taking pictures and videos of the homeless people. Like we're protected by HIPAA, so we can't do that."
Yeah, yeah. HIPAA's a
So
big
whatever.
thing, so
Yeah, and I don't really know what HIPAA is. I've just heard of it a million times,
it's
and I used to sell
protecting
insurance and
confidentiality.
exactly. So I'm not trying to be just a fool and like, oh, I want to make social media stuff that pops off. If I cared about that, I would have gave up on this a long time ago. And I got the
Mhm.
two likes per video, whatever. Um, that's not the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so how are you doing with the let them theory, and how is it like relevant in your life as a person who is, routine, jobs, kids, husband, all this stuff?
It was pretty it was pretty hard at first because I had to get into the routine as,
Mhm.
it takes a little bit, but once I started using it, I was actually benefiting it from it because it was like instead of getting pissed because there was dishes in the sink, I was uh, I was like, I look at them and it's driving me crazy, and I'm like, you know what? It's not a big deal. I'll do them later because I have time. Because I'd always tell
Just
myself, I don't have time.
yeah,
Yeah,
let
let them sit in there
let
for
them
a
be
little
dirty.
longer.
Yeah, let
Yeah,
them
let them,
exactly.
and then I get to it later, and it does. And then or if, or if the kids made a mess, I'll just start kind of picking it up and I'm like, you guys are going to do this. You guys are going to do this. And I'm like, but I'm going to give them like 5 minutes this time instead of yelling at them. No, no, just like a moment happened last night at work when I used it actually. And it was really hard, but I did. It was some lady came in and she sat down and for the life of me, I was so exhausted because I've had all these appointments going on. I like literally, I didn't sleep very well. I was completely drained. So I get to work and I'm just kind of like a zombie, but I'm there, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep a smiley face. I just want to sleep really. But she comes in, she's like, oh, I want to get a Paloma. And I'm like thinking, and I'm like, I've made a million Palomas for the last 13 years of bartending. And for the life of
Yeah.
me, I haven't made, I just like drew a blank, but I'm like, cranberry vodka, right? And I'm like,
Is
wait,
that
that's
what
a
it is?
salt.
I'm trying to remember.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no.
shoot.
That's more like a salty dog without the
Okay, but a
salt.
Paloma
But
is like a version of a margarita, right?
it is, and that's
It's
the
a
thing.
peach margarita.
No, it's tequila and grapefruit juice.
Oh, that's right.
And
Okay.
sometimes you put a little triple sec or simple syrup or whatever and top it with soda water. It's like people do it differently, but that's usually what a Paloma is. And I, for the life of me, just drew a blank. And she's like, "Aren't you a bartender? Shouldn't you know this?" And I'm like, "Whoa." And I'm like, "Well, actually," and I'm like, "Okay, hold on." So I'm like thinking in my head, let them be a bitch, let them say the mean things. And so I was like, because usually I'd be like, you
And
can
well,
wait.
yeah,
Yeah,
and let
if you want
me pull
something
up
else.
Google.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
no. So
let
I
me
was just
Google
like, I
it.
was like, you know what, you're right. I totally forgot. I made like a joke out of it. I'm like, oh my God, my brain today, you know? And then I walked away and I'm like, yeah, like, you know, as I'm pouring her drink, I'm like, with it, you know, I just was like,
Yeah.
and I went in the back and I'm like, that made me so mad. I'm like, why are people like that? And then she starts talking about her 40-foot yacht and all this shit. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to hear about your freaking 40-foot yacht. And like, she was only talking to other people that had bougie, these things and all these big, you know, and so these other
You
people,
know, she's just mad that she doesn't have a 60-foot yacht.
I,
I've heard about this. Your yacht
I
is
would,
just like not good enough. As soon as
but
you get a yacht, you're like,
But
ah.
she wouldn't even conversate with the other people on the other side of the bar because, you know, they were more low key and humble and down to earth. But she wanted to talk to
Mm-hmm.
the other ones that were just like her on the other side. And it was just like, I just felt like the dividing, like it just pissed me off. And I was like, let them, you know what? Let her be
Let
that
them.
way. Let her. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I did it I let it go. And it took me like 20 minutes. I'm not going to lie. And then she was just all of a sudden being nice to me and everything. And I was just like, okay. And I was just like being nice back. And I don't know. It was just, it took it off. And I was like, you know, the anger off. And I was like, okay, well, maybe she's not that bad. But I glad I didn't go off on that second because I was really pissed off.
Let them. Let them. And I feel like if you do it, if you think about it that way, and you look at things like them, like how they're suffering or whatever, like you'll immediately see it. And you'll immediately see that this person is suffering in this way or that way. And if especially if it's like being rude to you because they compare themselves to everybody and they're nervously trying to compare you to everybody too, and they want to compare and judge
Yeah.
and hate, you know, that sucks for them. Like that
Mhm.
sucks. That's a person who,
Probably not that happy deep down. I don't know. Has to show
yeah,
off
that's
all
what
the
I'm
things.
saying.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I try to tell myself. And I'm like, okay, maybe it is the case or maybe it's not. And if it is or not, who cares? Whatever. Like, that's how they reveal themselves to you and to other people. And I don't know. I'm
That's
still
how they do
learning.
it.
Uh-huh.
That's how they do it. Yeah. And so it's like when you get into a groove of being in a, you know, in a like-minded thing with people where you're like, all right, we all know this and that, and we're gonna do this. And then it's like all good and positive, and then you run into the opposition. There's not normally been a thing in place. It's like, no, let's judge these people, right? Let's just judge them and be mad because they don't see things the way we see them. And it's like, well, what was it like before for us? It sucked. We were
Hmm.
suffering, so we had to do something else. So it's like, if they're hurting, then we should feel sorry for them and not tell them what to do. So Mel Robbins really went into that about control in this book, controlling everything. The first chapter about her son's prom, I loved it because
Hmm.
that was such a relatable, recognizable scenario where as a parent, you're like, oh, that just won't do. You
Yeah.
need a reservation. You know, the kids are all going to prom and they're wearing these beautiful dresses and tuxes and
It starts
outfits, and
raining.
it's raining, and they don't care that they're getting mud on their outfits. Like they're having an epic night. They're
But
going to
of
go to a
course,
taco bar that can seat
yeah.
about four tables, and she let go and she said that changed everything for me.
Hmm.
And I love that because if you believe that something's going to change things for you, and if you say, no, this is going to be epic, this is going to change things for me, then it can. It might, you know? But if you don't say that, or if you say nothing's going to change, then
Then it won't.
it definitely won't.
Yeah.
And
That's the
so
hard part of
I think
putting it in place.
a lot of people have this thing where they humbly want to stay in their place. And they're like, I'm only me. I'm just this, and I have these things where I think I could be
I
special, but I'm
I am what
not.
I am, comfort zone, and then
Yeah,
it's
some
just
people are successful and happy, and like I'm happy with what I got and do my thing, and it's like you are, but what
yeah.
about that little destructive part of you that tries to sabotage it once a month? Like, why do you think that's happening? You know, like how often does your inner artist come out and try to ruin your stable life? Because for me, it was way too often.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's like being a bartender, you come along and meet all these people and like I told you I met this one guy last night and that kind of changed the way I felt about the other lady that I was angry at because he came in talking about like, are you an empath? I'm an empath. And he just started drawing out this thing called a figure eight. And he's like, he drew all these lines in there and he's like, okay, you're here and this is your family up here. And he's
Hmm.
like, and this is where you need to be. All these other lines out here, because he drew like a bunch of lines outside, he goes, cross all that shit out. Fuck all that shit, because those people
Hmm.
are the outside energy that are draining your energy from you. And he's like, and this is
Right.
what you need to focus on. He's like, because every time you worry about this person's kid or this person's baby daddy or this person's drama out here in their life, and that's their life, that's their problems, that's their issues, you can't keep putting that on you and trying to help every single person because then it just takes every bit of energy from you and you have nothing left to give to your family or to yourself. So it was just amazing the way that he
Yeah.
drew it out, like literally drew it out and had me like mark off these little lines. And then I was like, holy crap, I've never seen this. Did you just come up with this? Like, what the hell? And he was just very smart. And he asked me, he's like, by the way, are you a super empath? Because I can feel that you are. I'm like, are you? And he's like, I am. I'm like, I've never met a male empath. I know that's not being sexist or anything, but I've only met like women that have always come up to me. But this was the first guy that ever came up to me and his wife was right next to him. And he was talking about life and like, the energy vampires and all that stuff
Yeah.
and just
I
like
love that
letting
stuff.
people just do what they're gonna do because they're gonna do it
Hmm.
anyway and you're just sucking the life out of yourself by letting them suck the life out of you and
True.
nothing's even changing. They're still doing what they're gonna do, but you just took all that time and energy to go take it from me. Just be better, do it, do the thing, get better, and then you're stuck
Yeah.
not better, worse, and then they're still doing the same shit. So it's like
Exactly.
so like you let them is when it comes when I all I kept hearing in my head when he said that was let them, let them, let them,
Let
and
them.
let me take care of me and my own, and let everybody
Right.
else outside that circle. And he's like, and you're gonna learn as you start doing this theory, you're gonna learn within like
Hmm.
6 months, I bet you. He's like that how to detach from the negative energies instead of just being like set up the boundaries first, and then you'll learn to detach from every time you see somebody that you're like I should help them, but I probably shouldn't. And when I usually say I probably shouldn't, I do it anyway. But now he's like, you're going to
Hmm.
learn how when you say something's like, I probably shouldn't, you're going to be like, nope. You won't even think twice. You'll be like, I could feel that energy is not good for me. He's like, it'll become easier. And that made me feel good because my whole life it's been like, help this person, help this person. He goes, but who are you helping yourself? I'm like, not really. But I've been practicing the last 3 weeks. I've been doing the let them theory. The Mel Robbins has been saving me. Just practicing boundaries, doing a lot of things by myself or with people
Yeah.
that are uplifting, being around positive influences, positive people that make me laugh and make me feel good and realize like I and other empaths that I'm friends with, like it's hard to find that. So when
Hmm.
you do, it's just like your family. Like you can know them for a minute and you're like, it's like I've known you for years. It's just
Yeah.
it's just crazy. So they're also practicing the let them theory and they went and got the audiobook and everything, ordered the hard copy like this one right here that I need to keep
Hmm.
highlighting.
I love the books. I mean, for what they've done for my life, and I'm sure you
Seriously,
feel the
me too.
same. Like
Mhm.
without them, like I was before I was afraid. You know, I woke up with anxiety. I didn't know what my purpose was. I didn't understand it. And even if I still don't, I don't have that anxiety anymore because I know my mission is to figure it out and to be open to it. You know, so I'm good. I'm comfortable. I sleep
Mhm.
well at night right now. It was 29 degrees when I woke up. I
Yeah.
woke up in 29 degrees, but I have this heavy, not heated, but weighted blanket,
Yeah.
and I'm warm. Like my nose might be a little cold in my face, but if I just like get on, that thing is keeping me completely warm. And then I just get over to Isaac's and fire up breakfast, and I started cooking him breakfast, and we're gonna start packing his lunch. So we got
Good.
breakfast, lunch, and dinners, and I gotta tell you, like cooking dinner for my kid and breakfast and whatever, like
Yeah.
I made him a pancake this morning, and like there was no work involved, you know? Like even cleanup, it's like easy. I'm like, I don't want my baby mama to see like mess in her kitchen and whatnot, you know, even though she wouldn't even care because she seems like she's done the whole let them theory to benefit just, you know, to for her career. Like let them,
Yeah.
let me not have time to
You
cook
have
anymore. Like,
to.
you know, whatever. Like,
It's too
um,
much. It's like the
yeah.
stupidest, smallest little things that could cause the biggest amount of stress, and then the anxiety comes
Hmm.
creeping in. I didn't tell you, but I had a massive panic attack. Um, a week ago at work, and I had to hurry up and get out of there because I couldn't breathe. And the guy that just came in last night, the empath I was talking about, him and his wife, I just met them. He's like, something brought
Hmm.
me in here. I don't know why. I don't even want to come in here. And then he was talking to me like he knew me already, and I could already tell right there, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to come off weird. But he helped me, and his wife was a nurse, and she pulled out, she was like, listen, your heart rate, she's like, your anxiety is sky high. I'm like, I know, I can't handle it, and I'm having a massive like pain through my arm, my neck is becoming stiff, my heart is hurting, and
Hmm.
I could like I was breathing through a straw. And her husband was the one that was telling me like, listen, you need to breathe, you need to do this and this was, and he was like, and then he left that night, and I was like, thank you so
Mm.
much, and I was trying to get out, and I'm like, thank you so much, I really appreciate your help, like take care. Three
Yeah.
days later, 3 days later, he had a massive heart attack.
Whoa.
So he was at the doctor's, and he was like, I'm having some pain. I had to have my son drive me. And I usually don't do this. I don't come into the hospital unless I really need to. I'm stubborn. So
Right.
they're like, well, I'm checking everything. Everything seems good. And so you're good to go. And as he's walking out of the hospital, he's just like, as an empath, he's like, you know what? Something's not good. And I don't know. Something's not good. No, he went back into the hospital. He said, just take another look. There's something wrong. And the doctor's like, okay, we'll do a CAT scan or whatever, or that eco monitor, whatever it's called. And they're like, oh my God, you're not leaving. If you leave, you will not be coming back, or you will not be waking up. You will
Wow.
not. Yeah, they're like, you are right. You have a blockage, a major blockage, and they had to go right there
Wow.
and put a stent in. And I saw him a week later after that, and that was the second time that I had met him, and he just came in last night. And I'm like, you just had a
Wow.
heart attack after I thought I was having one? Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And
That
I'm
is
like,
weird.
right? And I'm like, you're
Random
the one,
timing, right?
I know. And I'm like, you're the one that helped me with all this. But
Yeah. I better
I
do multitasking.
no, I was like, two more. Come on, let's go. I'm just kidding. Okay, so no, but as far as what you're talking about on books or audiobooks, there is one that I recommend, and it's so amazing. And it's like one of those books or one of those books that you're listening to, and you just can't. You're like, every chapter is you. You're like, this is made for me. It's called
Yeah.
The Mountain is You.
By Breanna West.
Yes, it's so
Who
good.
you think you're talking to, girl?
I know. We talked
You
about
know
this.
I
But
got that shit
chapter
read.
6 is like my favorite chapter.
Oh, that book is so good. Yeah, and it was a girl named Bonita, who I hung out with a few times
Uh-huh.
on off of like a dating app. Um,
Hmm.
she's the one that recommended it to me, I think. Might have been another one, but I think it was Bonita.
Ah,
And
hilarious.
and so that one's really good. I love that book. Chapter 6. We'll have to dive into that one. The
Oh,
one I would like to
I
recommend
love it.
is I like the audiobook version of David Goggins' Never Finished. And
I
his
haven't heard.
book, I believe the first one, Can't Hurt Me. That was his first book, I
Yeah.
believe. It was the first one I heard of and read. It's really good. It's really deep into his personal like upbringing of pain and suffering and why like he ended up where he ended up. Um,
Hmm.
but this is someone who was older, you know, and hadn't done all these things yet, and then went and doubled twice through the Navy SEALs and like started running
Dang.
ultra marathons, and then there was a time in his life before when he was like close to our ages and being, or closer to your age and being like overweight, 100 pounds and spraying cockroaches with no training, no college, no nothing.
Yikes.
And people at that point feel like it's over for them, like their choices have led them where they are, and it just is what it is. But then
Mm-hmm.
now he's David Goggins, and a lot of that had to do with him living out of his backpack and
Mm-hmm.
doing what he had to do and really just suffering. But the newest one, Never Finished. I mean, what a cool title. And it's like a podcast. So between the
Okay.
chapters, the guy he has doing the reading, he's there with him and they do a conversation between. And it's cool. Like, it's really cool because it's like a audiobook plus. It
That's
really
cool.
feels that way.
I'll
Like
have
you
to
might
look
be like,
that
oh
one up.
yeah, sure, whatever. But yeah, no, it's
No,
incredible. I
I'll
mean,
look that one up and add it to the list. I'm like, there's a bunch that I have.
that one I would suggest for tough moments in life when you really want something and you're trying for it, but you're afraid that you'll be your own worst enemy at moments, because we are.
Yeah.
That's what that book is good for. And the Brianna West one too.
That one is so good. Like chapter 6 is like I kept repeating it. They hits home for a lot of people because I sent that one to a couple of people and they even said, I'm like, I just want to ask you what's your favorite chapter. They're like, so far chapter
Yeah.
6. And I'm like, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, yep,
Ding,
that was
ding,
mine
ding.
because that was mine too. But there's a little, I was just going to read this. It just says from Mel Robbins. It's just a quick little quote, but it says, the more you let people be who they are, the better your relationships will be. You can
Mm-hmm.
see that.
Back it up. This almost, yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, just hold it
Is
still because it'll focus.
it focusing?
The more you let people be who they are, the better your relationships will be. Absolutely. And this is helpful for me with like my baby mama, or like
Mm-hmm.
people I need to interact with and work with who aren't the same as me and don't have the same journeys and things, like let them. It's not my business, and it's not for me to judge them or what they're doing. It's not, I don't know anything. So reading books can give us tons of perspective and excitement and conversations with people and wisdoms, but it's important to remember to be humble. Like,
I
everyone's
know.
journey is
Yeah.
different, and there's stuff in people's lives that there's just no way you can conceive the way that they feel. So when people make rash judgments, kind of like that guy that was commenting on that post about me being unemployed.
When I was like, all right, fancy pants, calm down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny, fancy pants. But that's the thing, is like I watched the way I emotionally reacted to that and like typed all this stuff out and whatever. Like, I
I
left
was
it.
laughing
I
because
don't
you
care.
thought I was going to be the first one to snap,
I
and I'm like,
know.
ah!
But
I was
that's
all,
just
let
it.
them
I'm real
call.
about it. Like, no, like before it happens, I'm like, okay, I'm about to do, what I
I
don't
know.
want to do, and I'm just gonna smile and do it anyways. Because if I let it happen, let me,
Oh my
then
God,
I
it's
can
so funny.
observe it, and then all this time since that happened, it's been in there, and I've thought a couple times about how I would rather respond is inside to that, because it doesn't really matter what you do outward. It's all about what's happening in here.
Yeah.
So
What it makes you
being
feel after.
human, because this guy's perspective is his perspective, fancy pants,
Hmm.
whatever, all that. But like, the people that I am inspired by and that I connect with and relate to are like the people that hired him's boss. Um, like people that write books and people who are creatives and artists and successful in all these ways. I'm reading their information. I'm not looking for books by people who like how to stay mediocre, how to really just not be very satisfied, how to
How,
be scared your whole life you won't have retirement. Like,
how to
I
live
don't
in,
read those books.
yeah.
I've never even seen them.
Well, that's where this comes in. Chapter 14. People only change when they feel like it.
Hmm. So
I
what
mean,
do you
it's
do
just,
when you're having an anxiety attack and you've already read all this information and you've learned so much and you've tried so hard, and then here you are, full anxiety attack, no control, which happens to all of us, me too, still. What do you do? How do you do that when you've already read the book and you already know the information, but it's already happening?
that's, that's where I was at when I was trying to like, I was sitting there and I was just like, this is going to pass. I know it'll pass, but the pain was like sometimes all you can think about is the pain and like the
Mm-hmm.
breathing. And I was like trying to, so I got some fresh air, and then there was somebody out there talking to me, and he's like, girl, you've got a lot going on. Just breathe. You'll be all right. And I was like, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I know. And then I just sat there and thought, okay, the first thought that went through my mind was, I need to slow down. This is something,
Yeah.
my body's telling me something, and my body's telling me to slow down. Do I
Slow it
slow down?
down.
I have been actually slowing, whether it looks like it or not, because I know I'm busy, but that's because as the mom, there's appointments and things that I have to do. But I have
Yeah.
been slowing down on my anxiety because I've been like, less arguments with my husband about stupid shit like the laundry, the dishes, or whatever it is. Like we've been really, really good lately ever since I kind of just started letting things go, where it wasn't like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, you did this or you left this on the floor or blah, 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 or whatever. I just kind of just was like, why does this matter anymore? And my head had just
It
kept going,
doesn't. Yeah.
I'm only going to live for so long. Why am I going to keep feeling like this for stupid crap? And then I was mad at myself for like, you've been like this your whole life. Why? And then I'm like, I can't think like that because I'm trying to move forward. So then I'm just going to give myself a whole nother thing to worry about, like, so, and then Chad was like, you've changed. Are you okay? You've been different lately. And I'm like, I know I'm trying to, I'm trying, and he's like, I've noticed that. And then he sent me a text message, yesterday morning just saying, just so you know, I've noticed, you know, how you've been interacting and with Chase and his homework and Cooper and helping and doing things. Just wanted to let you know that I've noticed these things. And we don't ever do that.
Yeah.
We stopped doing that.
Wow.
So that is
Wow.
starting to creep in,
That's
and that's,
powerful.
yeah, and it helps because it's like I'm not a team without him, and I don't feel,
Affirmation, you know?
yeah, affirmation, which is my love language.
It's not like we need it, but it's so nice and
But
helpful.
it's like, yeah,
We do
I
like
do
it and
need
we
it.
do
I
want
do
it. You do
sometimes.
need it.
Sometimes I do. And when I get to a certain place in my life, I maybe I won't need it. I just will love to hear it. But I think it's helping me get through a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things because it's showing that I'm improving, and that makes me feel
Yeah.
like I can keep doing this. Like I'm not failing. I'm
You're
on the
not
right
failing. Well,
path.
and if you are, you're learning from your
Yeah,
failures, you know?
exactly. We're always
Yeah.
gonna learn, but I'm
We're
feeling
always gonna learn.
it's just a good feeling to push you forward knowing that you're on the right path, I guess so to say.
Absolutely. And for you, you have all these relationships around you with the children and him and the people at work and all that. And
Mhm.
it matters because like if you go to your job and it affects you in a negative way, that's your responsibility. That's not on
Mhm.
your family. Like
Yeah.
like yeah, you might need to apologize because you snapped because of something at work, right? Uh
Mhm.
and you don't
Yeah.
even but if you recognize that, I think that's a good step where you're like, hey, I these people at my job are just like toxic and it's driving me nuts and I'm trying
Yeah.
really hard, but
It's
I'm
awareness.
lying
Yeah.
to myself and everyone around me about how I'm doing, you know? Like, because it's
Yeah, it
okay to be
is.
overwhelmed and frustrated and like, this is a lot.
Well,
It's
and
okay.
and people could take it as like, oh, complaining, but it's not. It's not complaining.
Yeah.
There's a difference between complaining and just like venting and letting it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm like. I don't want to be that girl that's always like, oh, and I come into work like, so I'm just like, I put on a happy face. People know me. I'm real. I'll go in the back and be like, holy
Yeah.
shit, but then after I'm just like, but it's fine. We're fine. And then we joke around about what fine means because we're not fine, but we are
Yeah.
okay. And we're aware of it. That's why it's funny because we can joke about it because we know that we'll get past it. But it's just one of those
Yeah.
moments where we're like, F this. Like, but my
Well,
customers know me well enough. They'll be like, something's wrong, something's off, you're not bubbly today. I'm
yeah.
just a bit tired. I'm a bit
Well,
pissed off.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. Well, so for me, it's been
Mhm.
the biggest struggles have been different because I've gotten rid of all that, you know? So it's like different struggles because I don't have a
How's
house
it
to worry
been with
about.
that? How's it been with all that? Like just being
So
this whole
I'm
thing.
sleeping good. I'm sleeping good. It's a
That's
little chilly in
good.
the morning, but
That's
I'm
a good
sleeping
thing.
really well. Yeah, because every time I wake up, I don't know where I'm at. I'm like, what bed am I in? What house am I in? Like, where am I? Because I'm in this trippy like zone, right? Been cold, but it's been really nice because I constantly remember, like, oh yeah, I don't have to pay for this. Like, I don't have rent. Like, I'm good. Part of me is struggling because I have this very solid plan to not get a job because it's a waste of my time. And then the other part of me is like, well, I can't do what I'm doing unless I have some money. So I'm trying to find a good balance there. But
It's like a double-edged
it is,
sword.
it
Mhm.
is. So yesterday I went out and I got both of these. These are two of the three things you need to bartend or serve tables here. You
Oh,
need
you
these
got
and
it.
a
Okay.
background check. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm not playing around. I got them. Like
Oh,
it's been
wait,
that's
didn't you
all
go to Buffalo Wild Wings? What'd they say?
they said. By the time I got these cards, which took me like 3 or 4 hours, they were like, "Oh yeah, we already filled the position, and there's no other
Of
positions." And
course.
so I'm like, "All right, well, I
Go
did
to
have
the
a
next
plan that."
place.
Well, also though, like my plan didn't include this. So the interactive donating thing and all of that, like that's a really solid idea. And if I don't do that because I just want to make sure I can keep doing my thing, like I feel like that's a little selfish. And I'm not really struggling with this right now. I'm really excited that this is where I'm at. So I
Yeah.
want to do, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to, and I haven't asked my baby mama, nor would I ever, to like stay with her or anything like that, because like that would change this whole thing. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? That would be an entirely different thing. That's not struggle. That's just like like feeding off someone else. I'm not doing that. So I've been providing the groceries that I've been cooking for him. I've been bringing the milk and cereal and eggs and whatever I can bring, you know,
Hmm.
and then cooking for him. And if there's more, if there's extra, and, you know, offer her some dinner or whatever, and like, and then I leave, you know, and she's home from work, and I leave, and they do their
Yeah,
thing. So it's been really nice because I'm just there, like hanging out with him and taking him places and doing stuff while she's working,
that's good.
and then they still get their normal time together that they already got, and you know, I show up at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning and start making breakfast, and she's asleep or in her, you know, in bed or whatever, and it's just me and Isaac, and he likes to get up an hour and a half early. I love it.
Yeah,
So
nice.
it's been absolutely worth it. He said, I've been getting lots of exercise. You grounded me by being here. And I'm
That's
like, I
nice.
grounded you. I grounded you? And he's like, no, like grounded, like
I grounded
universe
you.
grounded, like
Yes,
you're I'm grounded. And I was like,
I
oh,
ground.
okay. And I got a cool video. I got a video of him, selfie video, while he's on the longboard hanging onto me and I'm on the bike and we're flying along, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's recording this message in his right hand on the phone while he's on the longboard doing about 20 miles an hour.
I'd be so scared. I'd be
so
like, I'm gonna.
so we did explore some tunnels. I have some cool video of some tunnel exploration with me
I
and
was gonna
him.
watch those. I'm gonna watch those.
I haven't posted the full one yet. I did reach down to, I turned off the flashlight because we thought the cops were chasing us, and we were running through the dark tunnel, and I reached down to grab the longboard and he wrecks into me with his bike. So I'm
Oh.
busted. His nose smashes into my spine, like, and he's just cussing. He's like, "Motherfucker."
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
God.
"Oh my God." So I have this video of profanity of him like
That's my
wrecking into me
son.
in a dark tunnel. Yeah. And then I did turn the flashlight off on him while he was like riding way in front
Oh,
of
good
me. And I like
job.
clicked it off and on. That there, I posted that reel. So the rest of it, though, I got to go
Best
through.
parenting moments.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's good.
Uh,
So I'm excited. I'm going to kill it. I know you got to get going, but we're going to let them.
yeah,
And I'm glad we did this because this is what I said we were going to do, and we did it, and that's what we do. We do what
yeah,
we say we're going to do because then
yeah.
it's easy. You just say the thing you want, and then you're going to do it because you're practicing that.
I
So,
can make time. I mean, I know there's a lot of things going on, but if I can make time, people can make time. Like, if you can make time.
yeah, but that was just it. Like, I'm like, if we start a podcast and then I leave, and it's like, well, what the hell? You're leaving to a different state? Like, this isn't even going to work. And then it's like, no, it's going to work. It's going to be fine.
Yeah,
And this is proof.
yeah.
So this is proof. It was no problem. I mean, what a great backdrop I've had this morning. And I got a little exercise, a couple push-ups.
Figured it out. I was playing with little
Um,
backdrops on this thing, and I'm like, ooh, I'm like in the Hawaii.
yeah, exactly.
But then my
So
head
you got to
started
keep,
going all over, so I'm like, no, never mind.
is this your phone that you're on?
Yeah.
Okay, so just make sure you keep, like, you'll watch until it's done uploading once we end.
What?
Like, just don't close the app. I need you to keep it open so it can finish down. It needs to take the video and audio off of your phone and send it. And
Okay.
so if you close it, it won't do it, I don't think.
So
So
just
me and
keep it
Stefan were
open.
messing with that. Yeah, just watch it. It should say like uploading and give you like a progress
So
bar
if I say
once you
leave, I can
leave.
still push leave, right?
Yeah, you push
Okay.
leave, and I would still be here by myself.
Well, just so you know, it did say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 twice on the screen. So did it stop for some reason? Because I got a phone call and I swiped it up, and then it just started 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 again on the screen.
I don't know. I've had you the whole time, so I'll see in
That's kind of
editing.
weird. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I got to get going, but
All right,
that was
Kelsey.
fun.
let me know how you want me to spend that donation with the homeless, and I will do it
How about
and film it, and
what
then
does
that'll be perfect.
what does your son think about that?
You
Like,
want me
what
to
do you?
just let him pick?
Yeah, let him pick. As
All right,
long
I'll
as it's
let him
not
pick.
something dumb,
It won't be
like
dumb.
scratchers. Actually, those are kind of fun. My grandma used to always make me buy scratchers. No, don't buy scratchers. He's too young.
Don't give 10 scratchers out. Oh no,
Actually,
because that sucks. Because then they're like, oh, I could have nothing.
what if one's like, I want $1 million, and the other one's like, oh, I just got zero, and they attack each other. Then what? Let them?
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
how about we buy scratchers, scratch them all, and then see if we've multiplied the money, and then give that away.
Yeah, or if they're all zeros and then they don't get anything,
Then they never knew they were gonna, anyways.
then okay, whatever. That's fine
Then
too. Do
gambling
whatever.
wins.
Do I know? But $1, ten $1 scratchers to give out to people, maybe. I don't
You
know.
got it. No, we'll scratch them ourselves,
Okay, sounds good.
and then we'll
If
take the
you win,
money we
if
win.
you win $1 million, I get half.
It's going to the homeless. All right,
And the
deal.
homeless. Okay.
And the homeless. All right.
All right, I'll
I'll
talk to
talk
you
to you
later.
later. Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.